Sascha, thanks very much for joining us. You're CFO at Gesellschaft für Nachhaltige Immobilienwirtschaft, or GNIW for short. For non-German speakers, maybe just explain a little bit about what the company does and what the strategy is, Sascha.
Sure. So GNIW is a German real estate company focused on equity release, specializing in leaseback sales. In Germany, there are different forms of equity release, ranging from Rückmietverkauf, what we call the sale and lease back, to partial purchase, to live annuities, and also reverse mortgages. And the idea of GNIW came from the fact that we wanted to create a fair, transparent, and above all, simple model to monetize one's own property without the former owners having to move out, thereby creating a win-win situation. As of now, GNW is the market leader in the sale and leaseback space, and we have created a way to buy residential real estate at the value of an occupied property, meaning it's about 25 to 30% below the vacant market value, thus freeing up liquidity for homeowners. This is because our clients are all wealthy, at least on paper, but not in their bank accounts. Often large part of their wealth is tied up in their own four walls. And what we do in a nutshell is GNW buys, purchases the property and pays cash to the owners, who can do with the cash whatever they want. They pay a market rent in return, plus the usual ancillary monthly charges, and can continue to live there as tenants for as long as they want. They don't have to move their house or lose proximity to their friends, to their neighbors, but suddenly have a bundle of cash on their account. And in the end, what we do, we guarantee the residents a certain level of security, which is all important, especially for the older age people, to the right of an occupancy. And the tenants, they can give notice to move out at any time, but GNW cannot, for its part, give the notice. And at the same time, those residents serve the company as property managers and administrators at the same time, because they have been living in their property for a couple of years already.
And just in terms of the wider trends, Sascha, that are driving the strategy, obviously, huge amount of aging across Europe more generally in terms of those trends. Why do you see this particularly as an opportunity for international capital?
Yeah, so for German homeowners and the investing public in general, the concept of equity release to unlock capital tied up in their single-family homes is still relatively new in Germany. Our initial discussions, aging potential clients are often reluctant to embrace its benefits. Germans during their working life are less mobile, especially as compared to employees in North America and the United Kingdom. They're frequently rooted to their regional background and often emotionally attached to their home, which represents their lifetime savings. In their minds, a single real estate transaction instead of subsequent acquisitions and disposals of their home base represents an anchor. They're reluctant to touch it all. And furthermore, potential sellers in their mid-60s tend to be reluctant to adopt innovations. But step by step, German homeowners are beginning to understand the benefits of equity release products, which are so common in the US and the UK, for example. Just to give you an impression, in Germany, there are about 7 million people over the age of 65 who live in their own property, in a house or an apartment, and the trend is rising. And this corresponds to a possible purchase volume of about 380 billion euro in this area. And of course, this is not overlooked by investors. And ongoing discussions we have with investors underpin their interest in considering equity options as an alternative to participate in our future growth. And based on our recent spate of acquisitions, we consider ourselves to be the largest landlord of single-family homes in Germany today.
Interesting. And you mentioned there the kind of growth prospects, Sascha. So what are the plans for the business going forward? I guess, where are you now? And what kind of growth levels are you expecting, particularly as well in this market?
So GNW is now building up a sizable holding of single-family homes for rent and creating in the process investable product for institutional investors, which was not there before. I think an asset category that has been growing in popularity in the US and the UK and elsewhere over the last couple of years, and is much more mature over there. And yeah, we have buying our properties across Germany since our foundation about 5 years ago, and added a 3-digit number of new properties in the past year, giving it fully nationwide coverage and making us thereby the largest landlord in Germany equity release sector. The purchase of several hundred more properties is in the immediate pipeline, while the company plans expansion well beyond its existing network of brokers, financial distributors, and sales platforms. Due to the current market environment in the past months, especially with increasing interest rates, we have been very selective with our property purchases. We're carefully looking at the market and how prices develop. But we can see already that in the past quarter, the prices have started to stabilize, which obviously helps our business going forward. Depending on the market development over the next few months, there are two options: either the selective purchase of properties, or as soon as we see the market further stabilizing, the further scaling, and we are ready and prepared for both of those options. And once we start the further scaling again, which probably happens in the next few months, we plan to acquire properties in a 12-month range of more than a 3-digit million sum, and see great potential for further expanding our market leadership in the following years.
Yeah, really interesting to see how the discussion around residential has moved on in Germany, but also across Europe in terms of a bigger focus now on, move from student housing and traditional multifamily through to co-living, senior living, and now the single family residential. So really interesting to hear that, Sascha. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.